Hey guys, Martin here bringing you Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to take a look at Captain Ginyu and the two Ginyu Force banner units on the Mercenary Tau team, which is of course their only 220% lead in the team, in the game at the moment. Obviously this is going to be interesting for them because for Ginyu especially, right, there are only 3 Ginyu Force units on the team. When it comes to the banner units, we're going to have Rikuma and Guldo together with Ginyu, so they're always going to have their full passive, but the Jace and Berta obviously are not, right? So on this rotation with Tau and General Blue, they are not getting this 10% before receiving an attack, which fortunately for this rotation it doesn't matter. All allies attack and defense 30% for 2 turns. At least when they do float into the rotation with Ginyu and this activates, they then are giving the support to the Tau and General Blue rotation on the next turn. But annoyingly, with like, if you were going to use this setup, I'm not even suggesting that it's like optimal to do so, because their actual support for their base passive is Space Traveling Warriors or Special Pose, which obviously Tau and General Blue are not on. So on this rotation, they're actually not giving any support. You guys don't have loyalty, do you? No, at least they have loyalty, which is the link that is like 5% damage reduction. Was the one that was like super useful for back in the day doing the ESBR for Ginyu Force no items run. But yeah, it's not really, I mean, 5% extra damage reduction for General Blue, I mean, we'll take it, right? So go ahead and do this. Might as well just grab all same type orbs here. But yeah, very fortunate like rotation, I guess, for them with no attacks. I mean, their dodge chance is still, you know, relatively good anyway, so it's not like it's the end of the world if they don't have a Ginyu. But that's the problem, is on this team specifically, like I said, they're not supporting Tau or General Blue. Does Glorio count as a Space Traveling Warrior? I can't remember now, because the Diamond units have Time Travelers, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Tau getting the super attack counter on Bergamo. Let's go. And then General Blue can finish this guy off. General Blue, doesn't he give multi-turn support? But yeah, Jason Berta not even in any danger there, which was good. Weren't taking any hits anyway. But yeah, so this is the kind of rotation that you're going to end up with on this team if you're running these guys with Tau, right? So we're going to have these guys in slot 1, 363 start of turn. Because we have Ginyu, they have Guard, which doesn't matter too much in this turn because we've got physical enemy anyway. 30% damage reduction before attacking, so 60% damage reduction when they're in slot 1. So they should be okay. Ginyu's starting out at 375k. So bear in mind, we obviously want him to stack as much and as quickly as possible. Let me just double check your mission execution. Yeah, all allies for 2 turns. Yeah, so we are getting the support from General Blue from the previous turn. So let's just go ahead and grab these and get these for you. And then we can grab the physical orbs for the friend Tau here. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Obviously, Rikuma and Guldo will be fine here, like especially tanking normal straight away. They need to take a couple of hits in order to get fully built up, but should be all good. Obviously, the stun is irrelevant for a lot of events, but I mean, things like battle hardened formidable foes would be useful. Obviously, in those kind of events, like where the enemy's hitting really hard right off the bat, you probably don't want them taking a super like straight away. Let's see how much they take from KO here, because bear in mind they've attacked now, so they've lost 30% damage reduction. They still take double-digit damage. I mean, they do greatly raise defense on super, so they do get a lot of extra defense by attacking. Ginyu's starting off at 19 million. Okay. Now the key is, do we get the additional supers for him? Get those extra stacks. Okay, we've got 1. So obviously we want to get as many defensive stacks as possible before we get to the end. There's a crit as well, we'll take that. And then Tau at 13.8. Obviously Tau's not going to look anywhere near as crazy. We didn't get any rainbow orbs from him either, but Tau's not going to look anywhere near as crazy on this rotation where he's just in slot 3 getting like 1 or 2 links from Captain Ginyu. But he can still hold his own relatively well. And now we can get the Glorio support active. General Blue doesn't actually have to do anything to have that 2-turn support active, so that's up now as well. So with the Glorio and General Blue support all going over to the next turn, Be interesting to see what the starting numbers are now for Rakuman Guldo and Captain Ginyu. But yeah, Captain Ginyu, his start of turn defense turn 1 was lower than when I did my initial showcase yesterday, because this is on the private server. I didn't pull General Mercenary Tau. So we did the showcase for him yesterday on his own team, like double Ginyu leads, which is 200%, obviously with multiple Ginyu Force characters. So it shows you the buff that the Ginyu Force characters make, because his start of turn defense on turn 1 in that showcase was higher than it was here. Oh, and his attack stats as well, I think, because it was what, 19 mil, and I think his first one in the other showcase was 22. So that's an extra couple of million despite being on a lower leader skill because of all the Ginyu Force allies. Now this is obviously going to be like the best turn for the Ginyu units on this team, because not only have we got all that crazy support from the previous turn, but we've now also got Jason Berta on this rotation. So we got 854k for those guys. Ginyu's up to 760. These guys start the turn at 385. So we'll go ahead and do this. We'll just play out the turn here and see how this goes. These guys need to get hit, what? Okay, they've actually been hit 4 times. So they need 1 more hit to get their extra stats. These guys need to attack 4 times. And yeah, they haven't actually gotten to do anything yet. So their stats still need to increase a fair bit here. They're not obviously going to get 4 attacks in 1 turn. It's the downside to them not being able to attack in the first turn, I guess. But either way, we'll see how we go here. Rakuman Guldo. I mentioned this in the showcase yesterday as well for Ginyu, where we use these guys on the team. But obviously, Rakuman Guldo don't do crazy damage or anything. But, you know, we're not expecting them to do crazy damage, right? They're not on the team to be a damage dealer. They're there to be the slot 1 tank and then have Ginyu in slot 2. So, another additional normal into an additional super. Okay, so we've at least gotten 4. We've got 2 supers each turn for the first 2 turns. The 3 is obviously ideal. And then, of course, I was going to say, we do have the hidden potential possibility as well, which we didn't get on turn 1, but we did here. So out of 2 turns, we've gotten 5 supers. It's not terrible by any stretch. Not the best, because, of course, best case RNG scenario, he can do 4 supers in 1 turn. So how well does he tank this? Because Kefla, type disadvantage, or type advantage over us. Double digit damage, okay, nice. I mean, Kefla doesn't hit super hard. I think it's 2 point, or it might even be 3 point something million. So, I mean, that is still pretty good. And then, yeah, Jason Berta. A little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. And then 3 for 3, nice. Dodged all the attacks. I mean, that's what they're there for, ideally, right? So, it's not bad. Okay, so double Tau. Do this. Grab this for you. We've got 3 rainbow orbs of both of the mercenary Taus here. That's 62 million. I mean, say what you want about Tau as a Dokkan Fest choice, right? You guys know I've had my thoughts on it, but I mean, dude hits hard. Additionals would be nice for him. I think 4 additional is like the build for Tau, right? Because doing that 1 big attack stat, but then only doing the 1 super is a little bit disappointing, right? I mean, it's still great that he hits the numbers that he does, but yeah, when you get an additional and seeing that again, and of course because he raises on super, so the second one is a higher number anyway, works quite nicely. Oh, and of course, General Blue has guard against Kefla because he gets guard against Pepigal's enemies. So that helps him out a little bit here. And then Tau finishes off Kefla. So, I mean, so far so good. But the other big problem is this is one of the toughest fights in the game. This is why I wanted to do this one. But, yeah, we have rotation locking against this Jiren. And he regularly super attacks in slot 1. So that's pretty awkward. Fortunately, we have the items for just such a situation. Because we want to see the numbers of what these guys are doing, right? But you know, we can't gloss over the fact that, essentially, if this was a real run, and we were going for, like, a no-items attempt, like, we would potentially just be dead now. We'd have to rely on Glorio's, like, base dodge for him to be able to dodge those attacks in slot 1. So, these guys are up to 726, Ginyu's at 937. Obviously, when we pick up the orbs for Glorio, those will go up anyway, because he'll activate his support here. But that was the last hit they needed, right? So, how well do they tank this before attacking? Okay, 33k, that's pretty good. Jiren does seal on super, which is annoying because these guys are not going to do any damage. But again, they're not on the team to do damage, so that's fine. Ginyu at 21. The more supers we get, the better. Obviously, we do ideally want to transform into Ginyu Goku when we can. So finally, the second attack from his passive is actually a super. Can we get the 4 super turn? Oh, there's the 3 from his passive. Can we get the hidden potential as well? Hidden potential, if it does activate, of course, is always a 50-50, whether it's going to be a super or a normal. It does activate, and it is a normal, sadly. Still, that's another 3 super attacks. That puts him to what, like 8 in total now? It's not bad. And then Glorio obviously going to do some extra damage here in slot 3. But yeah, rotation locking events definitely not great for this kind of setup, right? Because Raccoon and Gordo want to be in slot 1. Ginyu Goku can go in slot 1 if he's built up a certain amount, because he gets such a massive buff when he gets hit. But yeah, it's not ideal, right? And I think on the next turn, this is where not having the full Ginyu Force setup, or like not having a second character whose name includes Ginyu, is not great for some of these other units, right? Because we're going to have Jason Berta on the next turn, and chances are they're going to get locked in slot 1, or Tao's going to get locked in slot 2. And then, yeah, either way, like, we don't want to put General Blue in slot 1. Because, yeah, not only does he doesn't get any of this stuff, so he's got no dodge chance. Well, he's got, like, 10%. What's Tao's active skill again? Just the Dodo and Ray. Yeah, it doesn't do any status effects or anything. Or action break or anything like that. So, yeah, these guys, 580k defense start of turn. I don't know if that means, I don't know if they can even tank normals. So, they have a 70% chance to dodge. They get an extra 10% if it's a super. And then they don't get the extra. I mean, without the Ginyu, like, at least the dodge is unaffected, which is, you know, probably the more important part anyway. So, if we do this, let's use this Tao's active skill, see if we can get this phase done here, because that should give us a bunch more rainbow orbs. I mean, maybe they would feel like that was giving Tao too much, because he is doing quite a lot, but man, if that was an action break as well, that would be so good. So that's what? That's 4 rainbows. That's 4 rainbows, so either way, as long as we get the 4 for him. He's got the General Blue support. Obviously, no support from Jason Berta, but oh, good. So there you go. There's that 80% chance for them to dodge a super, and they didn't dodge, so they take 3.5 million damage. So yeah, I mean, maybe this isn't the best event for doing the showcase because it's got the rotation locking, but it's the hardest fight in the game, or like the hardest red zone stage in the game, I think. So it's probably one that is worth showcasing. The funny thing is, the Battle Hardened Formidable Foes events get absolutely destroyed by Tao, so it's not, we wouldn't even really get to see the Ginyu Force do anything. I used this team, I think, was it this one? No, it might have been a slightly different variation of this before the Ginyu Force EZAs. But I ran the movie edition 2 with the Cell Max boss at the end, and it's absolutely ridiculous how much Tao just destroys that event. I mean, we could jump into it here quickly at the end, I guess, for a bit of a bonus. We won't get to see the Ginyu Force units do very much, because Tao auto stuns the enemy, which obviously, when it comes to, I mean, we'll just do movie 1 again. Watched it go horribly wrong this time, despite me saying. But yeah, literally, when Tao was added in, I did this run just to see how it would go. And yeah, he just absolutely destroyed everybody. So, because he auto stuns, and then he gets that ridiculous amount of extra attack. So we got Ginyu on the first turn, and both the other Ginyu Force units on the other turn, which means the other Tao is in slot 7. So you probably couldn't get a worse start than this. Because realistically, that means we want to float the Tao. But we've also got Glorio on rotation. We got the Ginyu Force units on the other rotation, so we don't want to keep Ginyu here. So, like, all in all, this whole starting setup is just absolutely terrible. But I guess we'll go ahead and do this. We'll keep Tao here. We'll float off Ginyu just to get the Ginyu Force units together. But we're probably not going to get to see too much. But yeah, auto stuns the enemy. So then because he gets a massive buff when the enemy is stunned, even with basically no links active here with Glorio, just drops like a 60 million attack stat. And then, yeah, this is what I was saying before. If you get the additional, then it's 68. He guaranteed crits stunned enemies as well. So, there you go. There's Gamma 1 just dead. Now, obviously, we had a bad starting rotation because we don't have the other Tau. Even though he doesn't stun, like, he would tank well here. Now, the problem, of course, is Raccoon and Guldo, we don't have a Captain Ginyu ally on the rotation. So, we're relying on their chance to guard. So this is one of those unfortunate situations where bad starting rotation is the issue. But they did get their guard chance, so they are guarding here. Obviously we can't stun or seal anything in this second phase now. But as long as we can survive the turn, we should be in a good spot. But yeah, so Tao's team's definitely interesting. The problem is with the Ginyu Force units is that restriction of these guys need to be run ideally with a character whose name includes Ginyu, which if you're running the Tau team is only going to be one, because I don't think in LR Ginyu Force they need multiple allies of like Special Pose or Ginyu Force, right, which you're not going to get if you're running Tau and General Blue. And as we said in yesterday's video, like if the Part 2 LR is like Raccoon or Ginyu Goku or something like that. I mean, ideally it would be Ginyu Goku because it's another unit whose name includes Ginyu. That would help with the setup for this team and using the Ginyu Force units. But realistically, for players outside of like the whales and collectors, like you shouldn't be summoning on the Part 2 LR banner because when it comes out, it's going to be like 2 weeks and then we have the Global Dokkan campaign, which is, as we know now, an anniversary level celebration. Like, Yellow Coin, Part 2 Yellow Coin LRs are not really ideally the things you want to be summoning on anyway, but especially not like right before an anniversary. Like think of it because it's an anniversary level celebration. We keep saying that all the time, but that's the thing you have to remember and like have lodged in your mind, that it's basically like saying it's the anniversary, right? Like we would expect the normal anniversary to be. And so summoning on the banner that comes out right before the anniversary, especially if it's something like a Yellow Coin banner, it's not usually the greatest idea, right? Dodge this. Nice. General Blue actually doing pretty well here. Okay, so again, we still can't get Glorio in slot 3. But obviously, this is another thing that works quite well, is the fact that then we got the Tau active, because we've got a full mission execution rotation. So we can use both of the Tau active skills here. Obviously, it doesn't change any extra orbs because it changes the specific typing, and that's already been done. So what I should have done is just pick up the orbs with the first Tau, then probably then do Glorios as well, then do the other Tau active, yeah, because then we'd have been able to get more rainbow orbs. But it is what it is. Tau with that big damage reduction and the defense on hit. I think if he gets supered, I'm not sure how much the Gammas do super-wise. I think in this scenario he can still tank. We got the General Blue support from the previous turn. So obviously he had mission execution allies on the rotation with the Ginyu Force. I mean, everyone on the team is mission execution, right? Glorio is, the Ginyu Force units are, obviously General Blue is. So, but yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, this team works quite well in certain events, but, like, I mean, to be fair, Raccoon and Guldo, they got their chance to guard, so they actually did perfectly fine in the first turn against Gamma 2 here. I mean, they actually ate his super for double-digit damage as well. The only problem, really, is that, like, AGL Captain Ginyu hasn't really done anything. He's a stacking unit, which means he's ideally more so designed for longer events. So, I guess we can see we're going to have that full Ginyu Force turn. So let's see how good that is, like, in turn 1 here against Gamma 1. I mean, Raccoon and Guldo can... Actually, Raccoon and Guldo get a guaranteed stun if they have an ally whose name includes Ginyu. So, I mean, for battle-hardened formidable foes, this team setup actually does work, like, really well. Because, yeah, they eat the normals for double-digit damage. Then they're just going to stun him with their super attack. I believe, though, because it's part of their passive, it is only the one turn, right? Although, the funny thing is, it shows you how like crazy. It's why so many bosses in the game now, like most actual difficult bosses, can't be stunned, because this event just gets absolutely humbled by this team. Like Rakuma and Guldo stunned with their attack because it's guaranteed because they've got Ginyu on rotation. Then on the next turn we get Tao, who automatically stuns on the first turn, because we're probably not going to just one turn Gamma 1 here. Ginyu at least got an additional super. And then yeah, Tao comes in, the enemy's stunned, and then he just kills them. Depending on how many like orbs we get and everything. We're finally going to be able to have Glorio in slot 3 as well. It's taken a while to get this actually set up, but yeah, I mean, look how ridiculous this could be. So we got 4 rainbow orbs for Tao, then we grab those for you, and then we get the orbs for Glorio. So now his support is finally active, slot 3 support, and Mercenary Tao does 111 million with a guaranteed crit because the enemy is stunned. So I mean, as you can see, like, the full damage cap. As you can see, like, the Ginyu Force units will work on this team, and it's more so in certain events than others, although in this event it is largely down to Tao himself, I guess. But, because I guess this turn now we can't stun. We'll see what we get. You're up at 666. That's not crazy, but we do have type advantage. So then, yeah, we just go ahead and do this. They guard. I did want to see, yeah, them eat a slot 1 super, because they still have the extra damage reduction, but they're like pre-super defense. So what is this doing? Yeah, only 30k. So I mean, that's the thing. Rakuma and Guldo only need the Ginyu. It's the fact that Ginyu needs multiple Ginyu Force allies until he transforms into Goku Ginyu, and then this rotation would actually be really, really strong. The problem is you've got to stack enough with the base Ginyu so that Goku Ginyu's defense is high enough to be able to tank like the big boss supers, because he has 50% damage reduction and he gets 150% defense when he gets hit, but his defense then obviously needs to be at a certain level so that he's tanking these supers that do like 6 million damage, right? Because what, 6 million damage, 50% damage reduction, that's like 3 mil. If he's getting 150% on super, then he needs to have like, what, 1 point something million defense. 1.5 would put him up to over 3 mil, so that's fine. So somewhere between, like, it's like 1.25 million or something defense he would need in order to tank a 6 million damage super, which isn't too crazy. But you've also got to be careful, because when you see Ginyu's defense in the like start of turn menu after his stacking in base, it goes down when you transform into Goku Ginyu. Although on this team it's not going to go down by a lot, because it goes down because he loses the Ginyu Force allies buff. Although his base thing, actually, he in this situation where you've got less allies, it might even go up, because he's got 250%. Then from this he's getting what, 60%, and then when you transform, is it 250? Oh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons now. Where's he gone? When you transform, is it 250 that you get? Yeah, so technically he's actually only losing out on 10%, so the number won't go down by that much. But I don't know, let me know what you guys think down below. I think they can work on his team. I just think it's a little bit of an issue for AGL Ginyu, I guess, at the start. And then, at least Jason Berta, they still have the full 70% dodge if there's no Ginyu. But they're basically not giving any support to Tao and to a lot of the other characters that are going to be on the team. If that Ginyu's not there, they're not getting that all allies support for 2 turns. Now, as we said at the beginning, it does mean that like when they do get onto the rotation with him, that activates, and then the next rotation of Tao and General Blue has it. But I don't know. I think like we've seen here that it can work. Rotation locking obviously is a nightmare. And if Jason Berta just actually don't dodge a super. But let me know what you guys think down below of the Ginyu Force on Tao's team. Have you tried it out yourself? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.